start rolling in any moment here. But for those of you who are watching later and not live, you don't want to hear me ramble on and wait for other people to get here now, do ya? So let's get to it. Tonight, we're making pie crust on Some Guy Who Cooks live edition. Before we jump into it, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that little bell, ding, ding, so that you can get the notifications every time I go live and or post a video. Also, comment as much as you like. I promise I'll do my best to respond. And also, yes, share it with your friends. I would like you to share the video with your friends so that, everybody can get a little enjoyment here. So, like I said, tonight we are making pie crust. And what are we going to do with that pie crust? Well, we're going to make pie, of course. And it's going to be delicious. But it's not going to be just any kind of pie. No, nay, not any kind of pie indeed. I'm going to make a pizza pie. Hence, the pie crust and pizza pie. And, well, you get the gist. Where did that's right, the pan's in there. So, pie crust. Making a pie, but instead of filling it with cherries or apples or anything like that, I'm going to, hey, Grey Wolf, so you jumped in there. Yes, just in time indeed. Congrats on finishing your shift. But yeah, instead of filling it with fruit or something like that, I'm going to be filling my pie crust with marinara, mozzarella, pepperoni, and all that good stuff. So, people, keep on jumping in, inviting your friends. Let everybody know this is going on. We're having a good time, and I want you to be a part of it. Like I said, I will respond to your messages if you post them. So, post away. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started. We're making pie crust. Pie crust is actually really simple, you guys. You need like 3 ingredients, maybe 4. You need flour, butter, water, salt, and optionally some sugar, okay? The sugar is if you want a slightly sweeter pie crust, which I'm making a savory dish tonight, so not really. Not going to go with that. And the biggest ingredient here is, of course, the flour. So you're going to want, for this crust, you want 2.5 cups of flour. By the way, Grey Wolf, huzzah! Glad you're here. You can do it by hand, but if you have a food processor like I do, use that. It makes it a lot quicker. And that's what I am using. So I have my food processor here, which actually has a dough blade. So this is the first time I've ever used that, and I'm looking forward to giving that a shot. You don't necessarily need a dough blade like that, but it helps. So we got our 2.5 cups of flour. We want to start with 1.5 cups, so I'm going to take 1 cup out of here and just set it to the side. There we go. 1 cup right here that we're setting to the side. By the way, all you Paula fans, Paula is not just making an appearance tonight. She's one of the stars. Welcome back, Paula. Ooh, sharp as ever. Okay. All right, here we go. So, I guess I should probably point you toward the food processor so you can see what's going on here. Come off lid. Here we go. My counter right now is a little crowded, but that's okay. So here we got the food processor. We're putting in our 1.5 cups of flour. Just dump it on in there. Try not to lose any like I just did. Not much, but still. A little ploof. And next up, we want a teaspoon of salt, using kosher salt here. Drop that in there. And if you're using sugar, put that in as well. We're going to lock on our lid and just give it a quick pulse so everything is combined here. Now that that's done, pulling that back off. And here we go. I'm going to point you down here. We've got 1 full cup of butter. That's 2 sticks, unsalted, salted, whatever you like. There, like recipes will generally say use unsalted, but I like to use the salted. It's got more flavor. So, do what you like. I always say there's nothing wrong with a little bit of extra salt. So here we go. We got 2 sticks of butter. And what you want to do here, you don't want to just drop them in there, okay? You actually want to cut them up. We're going to cut them up into little cubes, which This is the first place where Paula makes an appearance today. So here we go, Paula. Your time to shine. Cut it in half. Doesn't have to be perfect. Then once again, gosh, pop off of their butter. Even the butter's in love with her. There we go. Then go ahead, cut it in half again. And, well, look at that. Cubes forming themselves. Drop them on them there. Make sure the butter is as cold as possible, okay? This has been sitting out for a few minutes, which is not ideal, but it'll still work just fine. Go ahead and just chop it into cubes like this, and as you get them, you can drop them on into our flour mixture here. Woo! You want to scatter them as evenly as you can, okay? So how many of you like making pie over the holidays, huh? Let's get some comments going, get some answers. And if you have any questions while we're going, please post those as well, okay? What time is it? It's about 8 o'clock. All right, cool. So we're starting about 8 o'clock tonight. That's not bad at all. I don't know how many viewers are going to be missing because of, well, the Gators are taking on LSU tonight. So there's that. I'm sure we'll do wonderful. But I'm more concerned with my cooking right now. So go Gators, and also pie. Pie. I'm all about pie, in case you couldn't tell. The funny thing is I'm not usually a fan of pie crust, actually. I prefer croissant-style crusts, graham cracker crusts. The traditional butter flaky crusts aren't always my favorite. However, I think it'll be a wonderful way to go here. They're really good with cheesecake, and that's traditional New York style cheesecake is made with pie crust, not with graham cracker crust. You know, made with the butter style crust, the buttery flour crust, whatever you want to call it. Just a traditional regular pie crust is how you make a real New York style cheesecake. So there we go. In this recipe, I'm doing 1 stick of salted, 1 stick unsalted. And again, we're going to be making these little cubes, okay? Thank you, Paula. And just scatter them as easily as you can. You might make, let's see here, Gray Wolf, you might make tartlets out of your raspberry cherry cheesecake filling. That sounds like a pretty good plan. Hello, Crystal. Glad to see you've joined us. Huzzah. And no, we are not killing cheesecake today. I was just giving a little piece of information that traditionally New York cheesecake is made with a regular butter flaky pie crust as opposed to graham cracker crust. However, I'm not making cheesecake tonight. And you can, and honestly, you can use whatever crust you want for a cheesecake. But I'm not making cheesecake tonight. I am making a pie, though. It is, though, however, a pizza pie. Meaning I'm putting pizza ingredients in my pie crust instead of regular pie ingredients. Ah, butter. And to answer your question, Gray Wolf, why is it important for the butter to be cubed and solid? You know, that is a good question. I only have, ideas behind this. I'm not 100% certain. I'm pretty sure because we don't really want the flour to combine unevenly. If it's liquid butter, then the flour will combine rather unevenly, and we want it to come together completely. So if you have it cold and cubed like that, it's going to, as we blitz it in the food processor, it's going to pick up the crumbs as it goes, and it's going to, I mean, I sound terrible saying this, but it's going to pick up the crumbs as it goes. It's going to evenly coat in all of the flour and mix very evenly like this. So we've got our butter in here. Let's go ahead and close our food processor, and we're going to give it some good blitzes here. Let's take a look at it, see what we got. Yes, Butterfingers, exactly. Okay, so we've still got some big clumps of butter in here. I'm not sure if you can see that so well, but here, let me raise it for you. Still got some big clumps of butter in there, and we want to get rid of those. Hey, good answer, Crystal. There you go. There's a scientific. It keeps the fats separate so the flour can absorb the liquid. Good answer, Crystal. Thank you for the assist there. And I need to grab my spatula. Sorry. Oh, crap. I don't have my spatula. Oh, well. Hey, there it is. So go ahead and keep blitzing that. Now, this is a dough blade, so it takes a little bit longer than a traditional blade. So you can see we've still got some big solid chunks of butter in there, but not nearly as many. And the flour is doing great. So we're going to get another few seconds here. All right, look at that. No more chunks of butter. Now it's just a really good floury, thick flour here. So we want to make sure that we don't have any on the walls of the processor here. Go ahead and just hit that with your thing, your spatula. And let's see, well, is that butter? No, that's flour. Very good. So this is all pretty good consistency. Now we want to go ahead and add in the rest of our flour, okay? So we got one more cup of flour coming in here. And you are welcome, Greg. Well, then we're going to combine all of that. And look how pretty our flour mixture is here. Fantastic. Next thing we're going to do here, guys, we are going to take our flour mixture. We're going to put it into a mixing bowl. Boop. Just like that. Along with our dough blade, it would appear. There we go. You can see a little bit of butter on there still. Just gonna boop. But anyway, there we go. We got our mixture here. Let's see. It's friction as with food processor or heat from fingers, so it's an operation. Yes. Okay. So next up, I can I can get rid of the food processor now. I can put this away, and that is precisely what I'm going to do because it takes up a lot of space, guys. So it's going over here. Oh, look at that. I have a clean counter now. All right. Next up, though, we've got our nice thick flour here, plenty of butter in it, a little bit of salt. And what we want to do is we're going to get 4 tablespoons of ice water. So what I've got here is a bowl of ice water. And you're just going to take your tablespoon measure, dip it in there. Don't get any of the ice, just the ice water. And you're just going to pour in 4 tablespoons. 1, 2, 3, and the 4th from on high. 4. There we go. Ah! Some of it missed the bowl. So I'll make up with just a little drop extra. So we got our 4 tablespoons of cold water there. And what we want to do is we just want to press all the dough into it, okay? We want to fold it, push it using our spatula and just push it all together, okay? And pull it from the wall, scoopy-doo, and push it together, okay? And as you can see, it is forming a nice good clump here. Now, keep an eye on it. If it's not forming like you want it to, then all you got to do is add a little bit more water. But keep pressing. Make sure you keep going. And I see we have another question here. What's the ice temperature do? Precisely, Crystal. Thank you for answering. It keeps the fat solid there. So in keeping the fat solid, you have a solid dough as opposed to something very leaky. And yeah, it helps you properly form the dough. So as you can see, it's still very crumbly here, but it is coming together pretty well. You want 4 to 8 tablespoons of that water, but just keep working it. At first, it's not going to seem like it's working, but keep working it. With the 4 tablespoons right now, it's actually working really well. It just takes time to work it in there. So, and if you've got some stuck on here, then go ahead and get it off the spatula and push it in with the rest of that dough that you are currently forming, okay? And the reason it's better to use a food processor as opposed to doing it by hand is because the food processor makes it happen a lot more evenly, okay? You mix the butter around into the flour a lot more evenly. So there we go. We're pushing it in here with the spatula, bring it around, and just push it on in. All those crumbly bits, push them in. Give it a good smash, okay? Now, this definitely does need a little bit more water, so I'm going to add another 2 tablespoons, and then we'll see what that does. So here we go. We got 1 and 2. Again, you got to kind of just keep an eye on it, and as I have to say, eyeball it. Feel it. Feel it and feel what it's doing. You'll know when it's the right consistency, okay? And it is getting there very fast now, okay? So just keep pushing that dough together. Now, really, you should be using a stronger spatula than the one I have here. But if all you got is the dollar store spatula on hand, well, it'll do. So here we go. And just push it on down. Now, at this point, it's if you don't have the right spatula, like I don't, go ahead and do it by hand because it's no longer going to just completely cover your fingers. It'll do a little bit, but let's see here. Solid cut will help the flour suck up that moisture. Yeah, resting. Yes, rest precisely. So I'm going to move our cutting board out of the way for now. And this is a clean surface. I did clean it off just before starting the video. So don't worry. Paula, let's set you aside for a moment. And we're going to go ahead and just dump our dough right on the surface so we can finish working it into a ball. Okay? A little bit stuck to the inside of my mixing bowl. So here we go. Now, you don't want to overwork it. So try to keep flat hands if you can. That really helps you to not overwork it. But as you can see, it looks pretty darn good. We're just going to give it a few kneads, not too many, because we want this to be a flaky crust, not a chewy one. If you overwork it, you're going to activate those glutens. And that is the last thing we want, okay? But as you can see, we have an awesome looking dough ball here. Now, this you're going to cut in half. So Paula, get back over here. Cut it in half. And go ahead and just work that back into a ball. Hello, Alex. Huzzah! For anyone wondering, that's because Crystal says, Alex says hi. And then we're just going to kind of make it into a little bit of a disc here, okay? Disc 1, ball 2. Ooh. Ooh, that's no good, Gray Wolf. See that, everybody? So the recipe you had for crust, use egg instead of butter, and the dough stuck to your hands as you were kneading like a goo monster. Yeah, you can definitely use a spatula. So we've got 2 discs here. I'll just take this excess and just goodbye. 2 discs here. You want to wrap them up in some plastic wrap, which is the one thing I forgot to bring over here. There we go. We got our plastic wrap. Now, what you want to do, yes, wrap it in plastic wrap, but then you want to refrigerate it, okay? And you want to refrigerate it for at least an hour. There's ball one. Here comes ball two. Ah! You saw nothing. Come on. So that's the thing I hate about plastic wrap. Sticks to itself and nothing else. There we go. Wrap it up good. Like I said, you want to let these sit in the fridge for at least an hour. And agreed, Crystal. Using egg instead of butter for pie crust does sound a lot more like a noodle than a pie crust. So yeah, you'll have to send me that recipe. I'm intrigued in seeing it. But here we go. We've got our 2 discs. You should put them in the fridge for an hour. I'm going to put them in the freezer for a few minutes because we're not going to be here an hour later. I'm going to try to do this quicker than an hour at least. So here we go. Freezer. You know what? There's no room in my freezer. Now, there's barely any room in my freezer, but there's a little bit. So they're going in the freezer for a few minutes. And while they do, I need to chop up the pepperoni, okay? So Paula is coming back into play. So I've got here a whole pepperoni. You can buy it pre-sliced if you like, but hey, if you got the whole pepperoni, why not use the whole pepperoni? Now, one thing to look out for on these pepperonis that you buy at the store whole, they have an outer casing here that's not edible. It's paper. So you want to get rid of that. So, Paula, with your assistance, and go ahead and just peel that off of there. Oh, come on. It does not want to go, but it must. So here we go. Just going to grip it from either side there a little bit at a time and peel it right off of there. There we go. Paper's off. You're right. Paula is on point. Always. Always. So here we go, guys. We're going to chop up this pepperoni. Now, I don't know how you like your pepperoni. I could take it anyway. But what we're going to do, because this is a pizza pie, we want chunks of pepperoni. So I'm going to cut it like this. I'm going to, cut it in like 3. Okay? You can do this, Paula. There we go. Now, it'll have to be super even, because what are we doing? We're making cubes of pepperoni. Okay. So we've got our pieces like this. And what we're going to do, again, in thirds. Okay. And then, using our fingers as guides, make our nice, even chunks of pepperoni. There you go. Nice little cube of pepperoni there. I don't know about you, but I love a good cube of pepperoni. So, we're going to do that with the whole thing, okay? And stacking like this can make it a little tricky. It can slide, so it's a little safer just to do it one at a time. It might take a little extra time, but that's okay. Better safe than missing a finger or a knuckle. Plus, if you do it slowly like this, people are less likely to notice if you just happen to, eat a cube. So if you got more comments, keep them rolling in. If you got more questions, keep them rolling in. I am here to please. Okay, there we go. Once again, about a third of the way on this pepperoni. Now doing the other side. Third. Now it's halfway. Boom. 3 nice even pieces. Lay them flat sides down. We're just going to repeat that process. Cut them in thirds again. And again, we're using our knuckles to guide the knife so we don't have to worry about chopping anything off. Check mark. Okay. Sounds more like, okay. Old comment. Old comment. Here we go. As you can see, this is a lot of pepperoni. And that's because I'm going for a very pepperoni-heavy pie here. My question for you, how big of a pie should I make? Huh? How big of a pie should I make? Now, I've got a pie tin that I was planning on using, but it's not huge. Really, it's not. So I have another slightly larger one that I might use instead. But there we go. We got our pepperoni nice and chopped up, which means we're just about ready to start, okay? I'm not sure if this pan will fit in my air fryer or not. So we're actually going to be baking in the air fryer tonight as opposed to the oven. Ooh, it does fit. All right. I will get y'all's opinion on this one. For those of you who are currently here, I have 2 choices when it comes to pie tin tonight. Okay? 2 choices. And I want you to, I see you've already voted, Crystal. I've got this little guy, which, it's good, trustworthy pie tin. And then I've got this big boy, which not really a pie tin. Actually, it's a cake pan. But it works great. So what do you think, guys? Pie tin, cake pan, pie tin, cake pan. Leave your votes in the comment section. I see. Let's see. Crystal says, big, okay, small. Personally, I like them big. Are we talking about pies still, Crystal? And Grey Wolf, as big as possible, the more the merrier. You know what? That's true. So as much as I love the trusty pie tin, guess we're going with the cake pan. It's similar shape to the pie tin, but it's more solid. It'll produce a solid pie, I'm sure. So we got this. Now, here's the thing. Hasn't been an hour, obviously. Bigger, go home. Cake pan. All right, cake pan it is. Obviously, it hasn't been an hour. Those crusts have only been in the freezer for a few minutes. They should be in the fridge for an hour, but we put them in the freezer for just a couple minutes to make do because I got to make this pie for you guys, okay? So I'm going to grab them. Which actually, they did get a little bit chilly. Not too bad. Be better, but not bad at all. And, it's a mistake you don't want to make. You don't want to forget to grease the pan, okay? So, make sure you have a stick of butter that you use for greasing, okay? It's always good to have an extra stick of butter that you use for greasing. And this is one that you're not going to be measuring from it, okay? You're going to be pulling it out like I just did. And, oh, goodness, this wrapper is in rough shape. You're going to pull it out like I just did. I may have to rewrap it with other stuff. You're going to keep some of the wrapper on, what you're going to use to grip, and you're going to rub it around on the pan, okay? You'll see a thin layer of grease here on the pan, and that's what you're looking for. You want to cover the entire bottom surface. If you're using the sides, you want to get the sides as well. So go ahead and give it a good greasing. And try your best to get right on into the corners, okay? And it doesn't need to be a super thick layer of butter. You just want a light layer there, enough that you can see there's something there, okay? So we're getting in every nook and cranny of this pan here, okay? Covering as much as we possibly can. And it's going to take a minute, but trust me, it's well worth it. Not to grease a pan is to, well, that's how you get your pies to stick. And who wants their crust sticking to the pan? Crust sticks to the pan, you can't get the pie out. So once again, we're going to right on in the corner there, best we can. And one more final sweep along the bottom. There we go. It's going to get a little bit melty, but that's okay. Go ahead and wrap her back up. There we go. It ain't a pretty stick of butter, but it's our stick of butter. Cooking brush. You could use one of those. You could do that with a little bit of olive oil if you really wanted. I do have a sort of brush, but whatever. Now what we're going to do, oh shoot, my flour is underneath the computer. So it's a good thing I have another bag of flour right here. So what we're also going to do when greasing our pan, we want it to be very non-stick, and to do that, we're also going to add a little bit of flour to it, okay? Just a little bit. Good little pinch here. And what you want to do is just give it a little shake. Pat it a few times. Give it a little shake. And what that's going to do is going to prepare. It's going to align. It's going to stick to that butter where there's butter. The flour will stick. And that's not so you can see, where do I need to add more butter? That's so that you can get a good nonstick coating on here, okay? The flour really helps and adds to that. And give it a couple pinches, okay? Because what we're going to do now is we want to get it onto the ring here, and we want it to just, and you're going to lose some flour, but just come around the edge like this, and you'll get a little flour on your surface here, but that's okay. Bring it around the edge. That way the flour sticks to the butter around the edge on here as well. And there we go. And the rest of it, I mean, it's no big loss. Just going to trash the little tiny drop of flour that's there. It's less than a quarter teaspoon, guys, so nothing to worry about. But now we have a good prepared pan here, okay? Whew, Paula, you've been getting into something, haven't you? All right, guys, that's our pan. I'm going to roll this flour back up, okay? Now, we've got our dough disc. If you want a flakier crust, then you're going to want to bake it for a little bit before you make your pie. So we're going to get this out of the plastic wrap. I know, I just put it in there. Regardless, out of there, and we're just going to press it, okay? We're doing this the easy way, the quick way. So I gave it a good press. It's now in the pan, and I'm going to continue to press it so that I can work it toward the outside of this pan. Okay? And you're going to, if you can, work it up that edge, which shouldn't be too much of a problem. The great thing about pie crust is it doesn't have to be perfectly rolled out, okay? You can work it like this, and You're not overworking it. Just make sure you get it as even as you can. So as you can see, this pan is a bit much for this crust. And that's okay, because you know what we're doing. And the top layer doesn't have to be as much dough as the bottom layer. So, and also pie crust works really well with you. So like you can push it and it will move, and gosh, yeah, it is a wonderful thing to work with, okay? If you've never made pie, you'll be delighted how easy it is to work with a pie crust when you're putting it in a pan. Now, if you want to be fancy, you can roll it out with a rolling pin, and then you can take that and you can lay it beautifully down onto a pie tin. And you can press it down so it's nice and even and nice and flat and perfect. You can do that. But you know what? You don't have to, because guess what? This side of the pie crust, no one's going to look at it. So it doesn't need to be perfect. And the side that you push down into the pan, against the pan, that's not going to have all these wrinkles, okay? And quite frankly, I think there's a lot more charm to a crust done this way. But that's personal. So we got our other crust here. We're going to need to use a little bit of it to come up onto the edges of the crust of the pan here, okay? As you can see right here, we're going to need some more. And we just want to get up to the very edge of the pie crust. So, sorry, I'm going to have to borrow some. And we're just going to get it right in there. We're doing a little Frankenstein patch. Patchwork pie. That's the hazard of using a larger pan. But that's okay. You're going to see what we're going to do with this one. It's going to be a little bit different, okay? So here we go. We're getting our pie right up against the edge of the pan everywhere we can, adding more of this dough as we need. Making sure we got a nice, good layer of dough on the bottom of the pan as well. Yeah, that's looking good. Okay, guys, that's pretty well even up. Up a little bit more right here. Little bit. There we go. Now, we've got a pie crust in a pie tin. Well, a cake tin. And what we're going to do now is throw that cake tin in our air fryer, which is just a fancy convection oven. Uh-oh. What's going on, live studio? My live studio just dropped out, which makes me wonder if I'm still actually live. Well, the chat disappeared. So I'm going to go to YouTube and make sure it's still going. Ooh, my internet might be out. Crap on a cracker. Ooh, uh-oh. Guys, sorry about that. My internet conked out on me. But I'm going to show you, we got a nice little patchwork pie crust here. Okay, had to do a few patches around the edges. But yes, the live video has returned. I can once again comment back to all of you. But we got our pie crust. We're going to pop it into our air fryer, which is basically just a fancy convection oven, okay? So here we go. It's going in here. I'm going to give it at 400 degrees for about a couple minutes, okay? So we want 400 degrees. We'll give it 5 minutes. So, the reason we're doing this. All right, Crystal, sad to see you go, but that's okay. I understand. Have a great night. It was good seeing you. Watch this later so you can see how the pizza pie turned out. Share it with your friends. But anyway, guys, the reason we're pre-cooking this pie crust a little bit, the thing about pie crust, if you want a flaky crust, you need to cook it ahead of time, okay? There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You got to cook it ahead of time if you want a flaky crust. If you want one that's less flaky, then don't worry about it. You can just cook the whole pie with the raw dough. But we're going for flaky because, if you're going to do it, you got to do it, right? So, flaky crust, flaky dough. While this one's pre-cooking, we're going to roll out our next dough because we're doing something special with it, okay? Something very special. Sorry, I'm just making room so I can roll it out. And we are actually done with our ice water, so that can go ta-ta for now. So, rolling pin time. Maybe I don't know where my rolling pin is. All right, guys, I guess I don't know where my rolling pin is. That's okay, though. Let's do this by hand. Oh, there it is. Rolling pin time. We're going to flour our surface again. Because, we're rolling out the pie dough. So, here we go. Don't be shy with how much of this flour you use, okay? You're going to give it a good spread. I'll point you guys down once more here. There we go. Dropping our dough down there. And we'll give it a few presses by hand first, okay? Before we start to roll it out here. Now this one, we want to be nice and thin. We want it to be nice and flat and even, okay? So notice how I'm giving it a little quarter turn every time I flip it. Now, if it comes apart like this, bring it back together best you can. But it's not the end of the world. Quarter turn, flip it because we want to get flat and even. We'll do it again. Because the top of this is going to be covering the top of that crust, okay? Beautiful. That's probably good enough, but I'm going to give it one more just to be safe. Okay, that's good. So guys, as you can see, we got a nice pie crust here. And what we're going to do with that is lay it right on top of this one. It's going great in this little oven, by the way. I think you guys, oh, you know what? You have not seen my air fryer yet, have you? I recorded an episode with it, but I haven't shown it to you guys yet because I haven't actually posted that episode. And to answer you, Grey Wolf, yeah, I actually like using the body of the pin instead of the rollers. Personal thing. Some people like the rollers. I like the body of the pin. It's a lot like using an actual, like pin. If you've ever seen the little wooden pins, those things are fantastic. They work great. But this one I have, it's got a pretty good non-stick surface on it. And yeah, I feel like I can get more control. I can get a little more strength into it. We're done pre-cooking our pie crust. So we're going to pull this out of here. You can see it taking on some texture here. It's not fully cooked, but it's taking on some texture. Oh, yeah, it's going to be great. So set that down. Now, yeah, this is definitely a good size. Here's what I'm going to do. Scooch this forward a bit. Okay? I need to make a little bit of room. So I can bring this over and we can start assembling. So let's point you down once again. So here we go. We have our pie crust, rather. What I've got here is some homemade marinara. And fairly thick, not too soupy. Some are too soupy, some are too thick. I like a good balance. And it's good stuff, guys. I've shown you how to make it before. Go ahead and make some yourself. Pour in as much as you like, as long as you're not overflowing. Remember, you need to leave room for these ingredients, okay? So there's a good bit there. Let's see. Oh, yeah. So I like a very saucy pizza, and that's kind of what the point of this is. It's a pizza pie, and pies have fillings. And in this case, the filling is marinara. But we've also got a bunch of pepperoni here that we just chopped, and we're going to add that in as well. So, gosh, my crowded counter here. Here we go. All this pepperoni is going on in there, and we're just going to scatter around as best we can. Try not to get it on the crust like I just did. Again, scattered around. You want it pretty even here. But there's enough of it that it shouldn't be too difficult to get a nice even layer of pepperoni here, okay? There we go. Do I have some more pepperoni in the fridge? Yeah. Do I think we need it? Nah. Next up, okay? We're not done. Next up, we're adding our mozzarella. I'm going to use plenty of this stuff. Crumble it up good. Cover it up best you can. Now, I thought about putting a layer down on the bottom of the crust. And the reason I didn't is that I forgot. Honestly, I think it would be great to put a layer of cheese below the sauce and pepperoni and then put another layer on top. I think it would be delicious, but I forgot. So if you guys decide to try this, decide to do it, don't forget like I did and give that a shot, because I'm telling you, I know it would be really good. But we want to go ahead and add a ton of mozzarella. Now, we have more sauce, yes, and we could add more, but I'm going to go with just the classic style pizza build here. I mean, yes, I guess you could say that classic would be the pepperoni on top, but the cheese on top is what I'm talking about. No sauce on top of the cheese like that. Oh, there are places that do that. There are definitely places to do that. Either way, whatever. We got this here. Okay, it's not too hot to work with now. Now, we're going to transfer our pie dough right on top. Boom. Look at that. And we're going to press it around that top edge. Okay? Press it around. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just pinch it right at the edge here so that it breaks off. Give it a good pinch. Okay? And be careful because you don't want to get rid of all the dough that's right here. But there we go. And as you give it that little pinch right against the edge of the pan, it's going to come off like that. Okay? And we're going to have some extra dough, obviously. And we'll do some fun stuff with that dough. And here we go. You could use a knife to do what I just did, but you don't have to. In the meantime, look at what we got here. Perfectly round crust right on top. We're going to put a couple slits in because we want it to be able to breathe. Thank you, Paula. There we go. Now, we're still not done, guys. I see Alejandra has joined in. Hello, welcome, huzzah, thank you. I think it looks great as well. We have not finished just yet. Aesthetics like a ribbon garnish crust. You know, I thought about that too, but there's something else we're gonna do, okay? There's something else entirely. We're gonna give this a lattice. Wait a second, Brett. How are we gonna give it a lattice? We just put a full crust on top. How could we do that? I didn't say we were gonna give it a crust lattice. Nay. We're going to give it a bacon lattice. Ta-da! Isn't that amazing? Now, we don't need the full pack of bacon for this, okay? Because we're not going to give a full-on bacon weave. We're going to do a very loose weave so that we can have a loose lattice. And it's just going to look pretty on top, okay? So, go ahead and open up your pack of bacon because bacon makes everything better. I really take that statement to heart. So here we go. And I guess I should point you down at the top of the pie real quick so you can see while I do this. So here we have our pie. It does look wonderful. And we're going to do a loose lattice, and here's what a loose lattice is going to look like, okay? It's going to look like this. I'm going to do about 3 strips right across the top here. I'm going to bring them into each other like that. And we'll bring this one over a little bit. Actually, we want this one right in the middle, okay? Right in the middle, which means we're going to take this one and shift it over a little bit because we want it to be pretty even. So there we go. And then a 3rd strip across right here. Once again, folding it over itself. And next, take our strip here. Right underneath like that. And it's going to fold over on itself as well. And bring it forward a little bit because we want this to be a pretty even lattice. Good evening, Miss Hathaway. And Gray Wolf, mind blown. I know, right? Huzzah, Miss Hathaway. Good to see you. Glad you have joined us. Oh, you know, we're just making a bacon lattice on top of a pizza pie. There we go. And we got one more piece of bacon. Now, guys, I haven't done this before, so I'm not sure if my experiment will work or not. But my idea here is that the bacon will kind of cook into the pie crust and fuse with it. I could be wrong. It might not happen. Like I said, I've never done this before. But fingers crossed, here's to hoping. Looks yummy so far. Thank you. I'm glad you think so. I'm going to wash my hands real quick. Now, there is our pizza pie. Okay, it looks fantastic. And I'm excited for it. What we're going to do here is now we're going to bake it. So I'm going to turn on the air fryer. We're going to put it to 400, and we're going to try to go for 20 minutes here. I'm going to get it going, and I'm just going to slide this right in there, okay? Right in a middle rack. And it's going to go for 20 minutes. I'll keep watching as we go. While that's going, we're going to use the rest of that leftover pie dough to, well, we're going to make a new little pizza, okay? Because we don't want to waste this dough. Form it back into a ball here. It's already been rolled out, so it's going to be a little tough to do properly. But there we go. We got a new dough ball. And we're going to roll it out as best we can. Set that bacon to the side. There we go. So there's going to be a lot of layers in this little bit of dough we created, but that's okay. We want more flour so it doesn't stick. Boom. Plop it on down. Bring you down here. And we're not going for a perfect circle here, okay? We're just going for a shape. If it turns out to be a square, that's okay by me, as long as it just doesn't break apart too much. Which it might be inclined to do so, considering this was layers of already floured pie crust coming together. That's okay. Move, Paula. There we go. Looking good. And this one, square is a shape. That is true. And bacon is so tasty. That is true. If you've accidentally activated the gluten, is there anything you can do about it? Not really. Not that I know of. You can start over. You could try adding more flour, but that's not likely to help. It's just going to be more chewy. That's what's going to happen. So this one, guess what, guys? Got another pan here. I'm not going to butter this one. I think I have some spray. Maybe not. I got olive oil spray, so I'll use that. Wow, this likes to stay on. Holy smokes. That is fantastic. Sorry, I wish you could see it. But anyway, I'll point you down here. You can see I've got pan. I've got this pie crust. I'm going to lay it on in here. It's got olive oil. I did not put any flour or anything. But there we go. Olive oil. And like I said, it doesn't have to be pretty because we're just doing a little makeshift version of what we just did in there. There we go. And take some of this extra dough that we folded over and move it over to this part here. This is by far not perfect. In fact, it looks kind of awful. But we're just trying to make it functional, that's all. And pour in some of this sauce. Crap, I forgot to do the cheese on the bottom. Again. That's okay, more sauce. I just want to use up all my sauce. There we go. And I also want to use up all my cheese. So here we go. Mozzarella. This is dangerous. I mean, look at that. Ah, forget about it. This one is our cheese mountain pizza. Because that is a mountain of cheese. And what we're going to do, we're also going to season that with some Italian seasoning. I've got some oregano and rosemary here. We're just going to get that right on the top. And, yeah, look at that, guys. Looks pretty darn good. How is our pie doing? The bacon's cooking pretty well. In the meantime, I guess I should start up this oven. And we'll throw this other pie in there too. So I'm not sure why, but my oven has stopped beeping. So whenever I press a button right now, it doesn't beep, which is strange, which means it also doesn't let me know when it's up to temperature, which is a little problematic. But it is what it is. I see, oh, there you are, Peter. Amber has joined the party. You didn't miss a ton. You just missed me, making and assembling a pizza pie. I made the dough. I spread it out on the pan. Yeah, we've been having a jolly good time, haven't we? The bacon grease will probably add lots of flavor to the crust. Could be. It could also potentially ruin the crust. We'll see. I've never done it. And that's also why I didn't want to do a full lattice and just, a few strips. So there's that. In the meantime, I've still got 6 or 7 strips of bacon here. Oh, 8 strips of bacon here. And I'm thinking I might need to cook them because, gosh, I can't just leave them like this, right? I can't just leave them like this. Yeah, Amber, you missed it. It was the return of Paula. The return of Paula. Guess you'll have to watch again later. But now what we've got here, we've basically just got a mess on our hands, okay? So now it comes down to cleaning. I haven't done an episode or anything about cleaning, and that sounds like something I should probably do. Mouth-watering inducing video indeed. Thank you. That is high praise. So while things are cooking right now, this is opportune time for you guys to start asking questions. Because, what the heck else are we going to do? Oh, I can show you another venture I've entered. Another form of cooking, a slightly different, is I actually made some cologne. And this is it's a solid cologne. And it's actually really easy to do. You can make your own colognes and perfumes, solid ones, very easily. All you need are 3 ingredients. You need essential oils. You need olive oil or grapeseed oil. Wait, was it grapeseed oil? Maybe. Olive oil will do. And you need beeswax, food-grade beeswax. So, this stuff, food and cosmetics-grade beeswax, okay? And it's really easy. Set up a double boiler. There's that popcorn kernel. Set up a double boiler, and you need 2 tablespoons of this beeswax into your double boiler. And as it melts, when it melts, add 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Mix that around real good. Can I make peanut butter cookies? Just cause 3 ingredient peanut butter cookies. Those are easy, actually. Actually, there's also 3 ingredient peanut butter fudge that my mom made recently and told me about. It was super simple. But I don't think I actually have any peanut butter, which is weird. I usually have peanut butter lying around. Oh well, sorry guys, no peanut butter. No peanut butter cookies. Next time though. Those connection issues. So next time we'll do the 3 ingredient peanut butter cookies because I don't have any peanut butter right now. I do, however, have some bacon. I've got 8 strips of bacon here with which I think, quite frankly, I should make a ginormous bacon rose of some sort. What do you think? Have you ever made bacon roses? Yeah, stupid sharks. Thank you, Amber, for reminding me of that. Have you ever made bacon roses? They're not that difficult. But I've never seen anyone make a mega bacon rose. I'm not sure what the difference is, really, to be honest, Grey Wolf, what the difference is. Cologne is a type of perfume. It is a perfume. It's just, I don't know if there's an actual difference between them or if it's just a manly way of saying it. I wear cologne, not perfume. But regardless, we're going to make some bacon roses. And the way you do that is you just take your bacon and you roll it up into a rose. Gosh, this is being fickle. There we go. A nice little tight roll here. Now look at that. Isn't that cute? Now usually you would stick these with a toothpick. However, I'm wanting to do something a little bit different. I am going to continue wrapping them together to make a giant bacon rose. Another thing that I have no idea whether or not it will work, but it sounds good to me. I'm all about experimenting here on Some Guy Who Cooks. So we're going to make the bacon wheel. Wow. This is already looking impressive. I mean, look at this. That's 3 strips of bacon. Let's do them 4 strips of bacon large, okay? We're going to do that because after 4, I don't know how much I'm going to be able to wrap around it. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? That's super cool. Actually, I'm going to let you guys vote, all 2 or 3 of you who are watching. What do you think? Should I keep going with this? Or should I make another one just like it? In-breath lab of experimentation. Actually, you know what? Now I'm going to do 2 just like this. So there's one. And look at that. It doesn't even need a toothpick to hold it together. It's like a meaty cinnamon roll. Someone told me once that I should try putting bacon in between layers of cinnamon rolls. I thought, yeah, maybe. I don't know. I mean, I love bacon and I love cinnamon rolls, and they might go pretty darn well together. However, this may truly be a marvel to behold once it's done. Gorgeous, says Amber. Thank you, I agree. The hardest one is the first one. After that, it's all golden roses. Are you not entertained? I may have to do an entire episode on these giant bacon roses. I don't know. What do you guys think? Gosh, these are pretty. And I'm willing to bet they're going to be pretty good, too. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cook them 2 ways so we can see what works best, okay? So I've got this one here and that one there. We're just about done. There we go. Oh, look at the fat side there. There we go. So, wash my hands. Oven there is still heating up. The pizza pie, woo, that pie crust is looking great. I'm going to let it finish up. It's got 4 minutes to go. I'm going to finish it. I'm going to let it finish with those 4 minutes. Even though I think it's almost done already, I want to make sure it's done. The bacon looks amazing on top. And I'm excited for it, you guys. I hope you are too. And I'm glad I did a little bit of pre-cooking on that inside crust. So that's almost done. We've got our 2 giant bacon roses here. I'm going to cook them 2 different ways, okay? Got one here, one here. One of them I'm going to do in the microwave. Yeah, you heard me, microwave. That may sound weird or gross, but here's the thing. The microwave is a very effective way of cooking bacon and getting it very crispy. It works phenomenally. Just get yourself a nice deep dish, because it's going to be a lot of fat. But you put a couple sheets of paper towel on top of the dish, place your bacon on top of those, then put another sheet or two on top of it so it doesn't splatter everywhere. Alternatively, if you have like a Corningware or something that can be cooked in the microwave for a long period of time, you can use that. But the microwave is very effective for baking. So I'm going to do one of these in the microwave, and the other one I'm going to bake, and we're going to see what the difference is, okay? So, ooh. Well, you know what? I guess one of them is just going to have to go on a rack in there on this parchment paper. And it's a good thing there's a drip tray. So here we go. One on parchment paper. And one is going to go on a plate. Actually, well, now I want drainage. Chef Mike out of this. There's a good lip on this plate, so it should do. Hey, nothing wrong with sugary meat. Sweet meat is a great treat. So here we go. We've got paper towel here. We're going to lay that other bacon rose planet right on top of it and put our other paper towel on top of that, okay? Nice little paper towel sandwich here so it doesn't splatter everywhere. Pop it in the microwave. We're going to give it 2 minutes and see what that does. See what happens. And this one, our pizza pie is almost done. As soon as our pizza pie is done, which is now, we're going to pop this in there, okay? So I'm going to put it on this grate here. So here we go. Got a nice little grate. This is going to go into our air fryer / convection oven, okay? In the meantime, I have, I can hear the rose popping in there. I have a pizza pie here to get out of there, okay? Here it comes. Oh my goodness. Woo! Woo-hoo-hoo! Look at that. There's a little bacon grease on top, but that's not a terrible thing, is it? Here we go. That. Look at the bacon. It's so crispy on top here. You can just look at that. Yeah. That is. And yes, it has fused to the crust. Success. How amazing is that? Now, the crust isn't completely fused to the other crust, but the cheese right under the crust is holding it on there. Perfect, guys. Perfect. You still have to try mole, chocolate-covered lamb, but it was done before you could try. I'm sorry to hear that. Lamb is pretty good if you do it right. So, yes, Amber, gorgeous indeed. Guys, I'm so excited to cut into this pizza pie, okay? I haven't had pizza this month, which means this is going to be my pizza for the month. And this other one, well, it's still got a ways to go. But in the meantime, this bacon, this giant bacon rose is going into the air fryer. And I have to take a rack out of here for it. There we go. And we're going to bake that at 350. We'll set it for 15 minutes and see how long it takes. Yes, Amber, that's amore indeed. Guys, I'm super excited for this. and also this other bacon rose. Okay, let's show you a quick update on how it's doing. It's probably going to need another 2 minutes, but take a look at that. Yeah, it needs more time, but that's looking pretty good. It's holding up its shape. So let's give it another 2 minutes. In the meantime, who thinks it's time to cut into this? Because I think it's time to cut into this. Sorry, I'm just enjoying this crispy bacon on top. Sorry, I'm just still enjoying this crispy bacon on top. And yes, it does look amazing. So I need the right knife for this. And much as I love Paula, I think I want to use my spatula spreader here because I need to pull out the slice and put it onto a plate. I don't even know which way I want to cut this, you guys. Like, for real. Oh, man. I'm just enjoying eating this bacon too much. But what way do you think I should cut it? Right down the center of the strip, maybe? Here we go. Oh, look at that cheese. I hear you, microwaves. I hear you. And I think cutting this into thirds will do. Oh, yeah. Oh. Eat your heart out. Look at that. I want you, piece of pepperoni. You're not escaping me. Guys, would you look at that? That is just, that looks amazing. Yay, looks delicious. Chop, chop, Brett. Really good. Damn. It's melting over the top and slathering over the bacon. Yeah, I mean, you can still see the steam rising, but look at that. It is absolutely beautiful. I think we have a success here, guys. I think we have a smashing success. It was time to test that. Okay? Nice big forkful here. Ah! And let's get a piece of that bacon on top. Here we go. Here we go. Look at all that cheese. That looks amazing. Nice buttery pie crust. Nice gooey mozzarella. A savory but slightly sweet marinara. Our salty bacon right on top. And of course, again, that buttery, flaky pie crust. Oh, I'm so ready. And our spicy pepperoni. Spicy pepperoni. That was in some commercial years ago. I don't remember which one, but here we go. Oh. Oh, my goodness. That is so good. You guys need to try this. I'm going to have a few more slices tonight, actually. You guys need to try this. It's incredible. That's amazing. That is truly amazing. Let's see how this bacon roast is doing. Okay, plate's hot, but not too hot. Woo! Still beautiful. Still needs time. Let's give it another 2 minutes. But yes, this is, goodness gracious, this is amazing. The reason we're still rolling, by the way, still going live, is because we're going to need to try that bacon roast too. And I also want to try that pizza pie when it comes out, because it's a little bit different. Okay. Chasing you now, I would definitely recommend putting cheese on the bottom layer, okay? We got some emojis there. Glad it worked so well. For sure, going to be making that eventually. You know what? You should, because it is so good. That's amazing. It really is. It's amazing. And it's filling, too, from just one slice. I mean, I haven't even finished this slice yet. I don't think I'm going to be able to finish the pie, let alone half of it. And now I need to make a pie pizza. Those exist. They're really good. But look at that. Gooey cheese. Oh, yeah. How can you go wrong? From now on, when I make pizza for friends, I'm doing this. No way what, Amber? Oh, there you are, Peter says, no way. And yes, pie pizzas are already a thing. I've had apple pie pizza. I've had chocolate pie pizza. Basically, you get your pie toppings and you put them on a pizza crust. They're really good. Ooh, bacon roast. Plus that other pie is going still. This thing is getting hot. So, what do we got? That is done. That is definitely done. I'm leaving it out so it can cool off. In fact, it may be a little overdone. But that's the beautiful thing about cooking bacon in the microwave. It's really hard to overdo your bacon that's hot. And then you got these delicious, delicious paper towels to chew on. Just, yeah. Yeah, to answer you there, Amber, one of the first places I ever had dessert pizza was at Hungry Howie's, Cece's, and I think they also had it at Pizza Hut buffet at one point. But Hungry Howie's and Cece's are both known for their dessert pizzas. The apple pie one at Hungry Howie's, I think. Or maybe it's Cece's who has a better apple pie one, and Hungry Howie's has a better chocolate one. Either way, yeah, it's super good. Make pizza anything. Sushi pizza. I haven't bought the chocolate pizzas they have in the store. Chocolate pizza is good. Pizza Hut likes to think it has dessert pizza. Fair enough. Sure you don't want to amend that and say Pizza Hut likes to think it has pizza? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. There's nothing wrong with Pizza Hut. Sometimes they really hit the spot. But while that bacon roast cools, I'm cutting myself another slice of this pizza pie. Because hot diggity, is it good? Chicken Alfredo pizza is amazing, Amber. Chicken Alfredo pizza is amazing. Spinach Alfredo pizza is amazing. Here we go. Oh, this one stayed together a little better. Look at that. Look at all the cheese oozing out. Mm. Gosh, you guys. And here we go. Here's the crust here. You can see it pulling off. It's flaky on the outside, a little gooey in the center. Mm. Just a good, solid, buttery pie crust. I don't know if we have pizza here in Florida. You mean Little Caesars? Or was there one actually called pizza? Either way, I'm going for another bite of this. Nice bacony piece. Bacon, pepperoni, mozzarella, homemade marinara. Mm. 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 Seriously, you guys. Mm. If you'd like to know how to make that marinara, by the way, there is an episode about it on Some Guy Who Cooks. It's not a live episode. You'll have to do a little bit of searching. All right, this bacon rose is still really hot, but not so hot I can't hold it. But look at that. Isn't that pretty? Super pretty. And I'd like to be able to... Yum. I'd like to be able to eat it for you guys, but it's still too hot. How's this one doing? It's doing all right. I think it still needs time, though. It's Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Well, then, no, I have not seen a pizza in Florida. But I haven't been all over Florida, so I couldn't tell you with utmost certainty. But I can tell you I haven't seen them. Now, the bacon, while pretty, kind of disappears in this. So you either need more bacon or got to find some other way to add it in. Because now this, though, the pepperoni it's on point. It's spot on. Man, that's looking pretty good. But, yeah. Well, guys, you've seen everything I got to show you. Unless you want me to bite into this bacon roast, I think we're pretty much done for the night. What do you think? Do I bite into it? I think I need to bite into it. First, I should take a picture. I mean, look at this thing. How pretty is that? So, yeah, time to eat it. And I got to know, did I accidentally say this was episode something other than 47? Oh, no, I posted 37 when I meant to say it's 47. Oh, well. So I took pictures. Now it's time to bite in. It's still hot, but we got to know, right? Okay, here we go. I mean, it's like biting into one big solid piece of bacon, which is really good, but a little confusing, you know? You're used to that crisp or something, but that is interesting. Delicious, but interesting. Well, you guys, I've eaten a lot of calories tonight. I'm glad I worked out this morning, but I don't think I worked out enough to cover all this. So I will finish this bacon rose. Now that you know what it's like. Ah. Ah. Mmm. Mm-hmm. 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 What I was trying to say is, this is really hot and it's burning the inside of my mouth. But it's still really good. I'm kidding. It didn't burn the inside of my mouth. It was a little hot. It's pretty good. But I think I'd rather eat my bacon in strip form. But if you want to do something real pretty, it's a great presentation. You are welcome for hanging out with you tonight. Thanks for hanging out with me. Anyway, guys, I think that's all I got for you. This bacon rose is done too. Or at least it said it was. What do you think? I think it needs more time. Regardless, thanks for sticking around, everybody. Thanks for making the show what it is and for being a part of it. Without you, it would be nothing. It would just be some guy cooking with no audience. And how sad would that be? Oh, bacon grease. Oh, bacon grease. Yeah, let's go ahead and start that for another 15 minutes. Anyway, sorry this one was longer than usual, guys. Seeing as it's 9:40, that's about an hour and a half that I've been with you guys. But honestly, I think it was worth it. This was all really good. It was fun. Thanks for the incredible video. You are welcome. Thanks for being incredible. So, one more mention, guys. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you hit that little bell, ding, ding, so that, you know, you can get notifications every time I go live or post a new video. And make sure you share it with your friends. And leave plenty of comments, especially after the live is done, because these live comments are not actually saved. They go away once we finish the live video. So if you go back in and leave comments once more, please do that as well. I would love to have your comments in there. Anyway, guys, mwah, much love. Make a pizza pie sometime, because hot diggity, it is worth it. I've been wanting to do this a while, and I'm glad I was able to do it with you. Until next time, guys, have yourself a wonderful rest of your weekend. I'll see you next Saturday and possibly sometime during the week for another video hangout.